Section 2.5, ratios and proportions. So a ratio, let's say 3 to 5, can be written as 3 to 5, or can be written as a fraction, 3 to 5. Now, whenever I write a fraction, I will always assume that I will write it in reduced form. So let's do on page 73, problem number 2. In exercises 1 through 20, change each ratio to a fraction and reduce the fraction. Write the ratio in lowest terms. So again, we will always assume, even if I don't specifically state it, that we will reduce to lowest terms. Okay, so 2 feet. Well, I have 2 feet to 8 inches. In 1 foot, there are 12 inches. Therefore, in 2 feet, there are 24 inches. Notice that I can cancel the units. In general, in a ratio, I can cancel units. If I'm not able to cancel units, then we will call that a rate rather than a ratio, such as miles per hour. That would be a rate. But we will cancel these units. Inches. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 8 divided by 8 is 1. And so this is the same as the ratio of 3 to 1. Let me do problem number 16. 10 minutes. To 10 seconds. And so I have the following ratio: 10 minutes to 10 seconds. Let me note that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Therefore, in 10 minutes, there are 600 seconds. So 600 seconds over 10 seconds. Again, I can cancel units. 600 divided by 10 is 60. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Therefore, this is the same as a ratio of 60 to 1. A proportion. And so, two ratios are said to be in proportion if these two ratios are equivalent. Fractions. And so we can determine if two ratios are the same by using cross multiplication. Please note that you can only use cross multiplication if you are trying to show that two ratios are in proportion. So let's say A over B, is that equal to C over D? Well, you would multiply across. So these are equal if AD is equal to BC. So let's do some examples. Let's say problem number 22. 2/3, is that equal to 16 over 24? And so, in exercises 21 through 32, determine if the proportion is true or false. So let me cross multiply. And so is 2 times 24 equal to 3 times 16. Now it's very important to put a little question mark above the equal sign, because if you didn't have the equal sign, you'd be saying that these two things are equal. Well, you don't know if they're equal. That's what you want to check. And so 2 times 24, if you get rid of the question mark, that would say that that's a true statement. If it's not a true statement, then what you've written is false. 2 times 24 is 48. 3 times 16 is 48. So indeed, they are equal. And so yes, this is a proportion. And so yes, this is a true proportion. Let me do problem number 32. 4 over 8, is that equal to 8 over 12? So let's see if this is a true statement or not. Let's cross multiply. And so is 4 times 12 equal to 8 times 8? Is 48 equal to 64? No. So no, this is not a proportion. So this is not a true proportion. Let me do problem number 36. 2 over 2.5 equal to x over 10. In exercises 33 through 55, find the value of the unknown from the given proportion. So in this case, we're assuming that this is a true proportion. And I want to find the value of x, which will make this a true proportion. So 2.5 times x is equal to 2 times 10. Here you do not put in a question mark, because you know you're trying to find the value of x that will make this into a true statement. And so I have 2.5 x is equal to 20. Divide both sides of my equation by 2.5. And so x is equal to 8. And so if we replace x by 8, then this will become a true proportion. Let me do problem number 48. Negative 2/3 over 5 equal 2x over 1/2. So again, let me cross multiply. 5 times 2x, negative 2/3 times 1/2. And so 5 times 2x is equal to negative 2/3 times 1/2. Well, the 2's cancel. 5 times 2x is 10x. Negative times positive is negative. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Let me get rid of the denominator. So let me multiply both sides of my equation by 3. 3 times 10 is 30. X is equal to, the 3's cancel, negative 1. Let me divide both sides of my equation by 30. And so if I do that, I get that X is equal to a negative 1 over 30. And that is your answer. Let me do problem number 53. Three x plus 1 over 5 is equal to 4x minus 3 over 6. So again, let me cross multiply. 5 times the quantity 4x minus 3 is equal to 6 times the quantity 3x plus 1. Let me multiply the 5 inside the parentheses, 6 inside the parentheses. So I get 20x minus 15 is equal to 18x plus 6. Subtract 18x from both sides of my equation. In order to isolate x on one side of my equation, I always subtract the smaller 18x from the 20x. 20x minus 18x is 2x. Minus 15 is equal to 6. Add 15 to both sides of my equation. And so 2x is equal to 21. Divide both sides of my equation by 2. And so x is equal to 21 over 2. In exercises 56 through 70, use the percent proportion or percent formula to evaluate the expression. Problem 58. 40% of 280 horses. Okay, and so this is, well, of. When of is preceded by a percent, decimal, or fraction, of means to multiply. 40%, well, I can write 40% as a decimal, so I move my decimal 2 places to the left. Whenever you have percent, you move it 2 places to the left. So 0.40 and 280. And so x, or h, the number of horses, is equal to 0.40 times 280. And so h is equal to 112 horses. And so 40% of 280 horses is 112 horses. Let me do problem number 70. 37% of 60. Okay, and so I have, and maybe I'll write it this way, 37% of 60. Okay, and let me determine what x is. And so let me cross multiply. So I have 100x is equal to 37 times 60. And so 100x is equal to 2,220. Divide both sides of my equation by 100. And so x in this case is equal to 22.2. Let me do problem number 74. $35 is 14% of what number? Okay. And so I have 14%, that $35 is 14% of what number? And so, oops. And so, let me cross multiply. And so I have 14x is equal to 35 times 100, 3,500. And so let me divide both sides of my equation by 14. And so x is equal to 250. And so $35 is 14% of $250. Let me do problem number 84. What percent of $65,000 is $4,875? And so what percent of $65,000 is 4,875? So let's cross multiply. So I have 65,000 x is equal to 4,875 times 100. So $487,000, 500. Divide both sides of my equation by 65,000. And so x is equal to 7.5, and that's the percent. And so what percent? 7.5%. That finishes off section 2.5.